good enough and finds the right opportunities, can completely take over a game. And especially if there's not another jet to actually respond to that, that can actually be very difficult, even against the most well-prepared team strategically and tactically. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how Claudia does on this attack for COG Red. And this is it. We're going to kick things off here with a pistol between COG Red and C9 White. C9 White on that defense, and we'll see most players here for COG Red towards this mid position. And there's already a flash to get some information as to what they're doing.
Ooh, look at this Viper wall that Anidro's used that cuts off B main and mid. Finally going down, but you see the perfect timing right there with the dog coming in to clear mid. But this is a vent split to A, and it's made obvious by Killjoy's location. You see Naomi actually just holding that A push down, and she's just waiting for her moment to push.
Yes, I was going to say, C9 White are really playing this quite cautiously. They will be flashed back and away. Alexis will have to fall off of that position. Katsumi shortly will get overwhelmed, but able to take one down just before that happens. So that's a good result there for C9 White. Alexis fighting over this B Heaven control, but forced back to the stairs once again. And this is getting quite chaotic, but it does look like COG Red will have a spike plant coming through here. However, they are down a player. 3 versus 4 for them, trying to hold this site. It's only going to be quite difficult, but a lot of utility has already been expended by both teams, so this might come down to C9 White picking a good timing, coordinating themselves well. There's the satchel through for Jazzy to get closer here to try to combine this effort with her teammates as they push forward. Rise able to defend very nicely. This crossfire between the back of the site and B main is looking quite good at the moment. Those nanoswarms, I think they must have been destroyed here. Naomi's going to have to try to close the distance, but she can't get there in time. Mel defends, and C9 White pick up the pistol.
Oh, yeah, based on where Naomi was on that hit, I thought for sure it would come back to the A site. But I think the bait of when Benita flashes B Heaven and the person jumps around the corner blind, it baited them into hitting this B site instead of sticking to their gut plan of going A. And it caused Naomi to be way, way out of the play. And that's when the retake comes in. And I just think she was never in a situation to really help her teammates out because of that mid-round adjustment. That's interesting. So C9 really playing well again in the mid-rounds. We've seen that throughout the entire event.
Yeah, definitely a team that puts a lot of focus on that. We heard Annie talking about how important VOD review is, and that mid-round decision-making can really be improved a lot by studying tape. And you can see here that we'll just have COG trying to get any early edges that they can. They will actually grab the ultimate orb and B main, I believe. So small win there. Chobo picking up that one on the raise. And other than that, it's going to be a group towards this A site, which it is a retake setup, but there's so much killjoy utility there by Mel. This could be rough.
And look at this Viper wall that she could fall behind with the alarm bot and mollies and the turret there. This is going to be so annoying for CLG Red if they hit the A site. They're taking the fight to heaven.
Yeah, this is really smart. They're actually going to pick up a frag because of that as well, so that's not too bad. The spike does hit the ground, though, as C9 do pick up all the kills with those Spectres, but it does feel like COG Red really gave themselves the best chance to do some damage here, so can't be too disappointed with the result. As you say, the setup from C9 White, in terms of an anti-eco setup, I love that you highlighted the killjoy utility around the toxic screen, and that otherwise it was a retake setup for A. Just C9 White really thinking so far into the future on these rounds.
Yeah, it's like it is indeed a retake setup because of that Viper wall, but it's also set up where Mel can hold the site and probably get 2 every time, so that the retake is always from a player up scenario. And I think they might be doing it again. Oh no, the Viper wall is actually moving, so Anidro is actually now in mid.
Oh, big fan of this, the dark cover and the aggressive B main take, Sean.
Yeah, and the difference between these two teams is that CLG has one controller. We mentioned that previously. The Viper wall is already up on this A site, so that kind of doesn't give you a lot of options to work with. I would expect them to hit the A site late, but maybe that Viper Poison Cloud is saved for B Heaven and they get a nice B split going.
And it's interesting as well because C9 White, it does look like they want to go aggressive with this B main push. Jazzy actually picks up the kill with the Spectre. That's huge, but they won't expect Rise. almost going for the trigger discipline, but will take what is given, and Jazzy will get traded out. So opportunities here. COG reacting, pushing mid at the same time. They know there's an opening because of the action around B main in those positions, and they have themselves a huge advantage now. 4 versus 2 for COG Red to get that spike planted on B, and meanwhile, the remainder of Cloud9 Whites rotating off A through ropes to see if they can find at least, well, with the element of surprise that they do have, an early pick here, but it's going to be really tough.
Spike planted.
And Benita looks like she's aware that the flank could come in. You can see her there in B main holding that. It looks like this round is going to be super difficult for C9 White to manage to win, but they definitely want to do some economic damage here.
Yeah, you're spot on. It is, of course, that bonus round. Those Spectres continued on. And actually, Mel finding a Phantom, I think, on the ground. So Mel will have an upgrade at least. So maybe now they're thinking about going for the save here into the next rounds. But great round for COG Red, for sure.
Yeah. This round shows me that they've probably done their homework on Cloud9 White, particularly on Split. They waited throughout the entire map for the pushes, right? And they even put the wall up, like I said, in A, almost as bait, waiting for the B push at that point. They had this super passive crossfire. They gave up B main. They gave up A main. They kind of gave up mid, too. It's not like they were aggressively taking male. They waited for C9 White to make the mistake in this round. And typically, that's not a winning proposition. But on a bonus round, where C9 White has to take some risks in order to win with those Spectres, that's a really, really experienced play by CLG Red.
And unfortunately for them, they did actually lose a couple of extra players, so that was a great play right at the end of the round by C9 White. And oh no, Chobo walks into the dark cover, and just some spray to prevent anyone doing that will actually get a kill on Chobo. So down early are CLG Red here in that 4v5. And what do you usually look to do in a position like this, Sean? Because, I mean, defaulting with a player down feels quite difficult.
Yeah, it's not even that they're a player down, though, Dan. It's that they've lost B main control as well. So you could see Chobo's goal right there was to get B main control. So now Benita has to shift over to B to get this B main control with Rise. And it kind of shifted the whole team into just doing a B hit now. So they're just going to do a B hit, and hopefully Rise can get into the site for CLG Red, pop that ult, and kind of alleviate some of the pressure of the hit.
Yeah, that ultimate is a good focus point, but can they get across? It looks like Katsumi is going to drop Benito straight away. The Viper's Pit goes down, but just as quickly is taken out, leaving just Naomi left alive, stuck behind the dark cover in B main. And there's not a lot to be done, it would appear. Naomi able to get 1 kill, but with that said, at least there's an extra 2 kills collected, and there might be an opportunity for a spike plant here as well for some extra money for the team. Trying to bait out a peek, though. Naomi's looking to try to close this one down against 3 players. The ace clutch is not going to happen this time around, but it was a good effort, and Cloud9 will pick up their 3rd round.
Yeah, great effort there from Naomi. Even though she doesn't secure the round, obviously, from the 1-on-5 scenario, she takes out 2 and now has her ult built for this round. I don't know if they're going to opt to use it. I believe they should be able to buy into this round based on how many lived on the bonus round. Oof, no, that's brutal. CLG finds himself in such a bad scenario early in this game, potentially giving up the 4-1 lead to C9 White. This is going to be an eco.
We'll have to see if the Sheriffs can find any fortune here, as we'll have Claudia leading the way up mid. Chobo as well, the Beanball clearing out ropes. And the expected play in a lot of cases is a playing through mid into B main with the pistols, just because you have pretty much all close ranges until you get onto the site. And it's a very short distance as well. We see Claudia leading the charge here, and the flashes are pretty good. Allows an opening kill to be made by Claudia. And we'll have to see Jazzykins falling back, but Katsumi is so good on the support right now. It is just totally wiped out. There's that 4-1 you're talking about.
How is it that every time C9 White looks like they're about to lose one of these ecos, Katsumi comes up huge with some multi-frag? That looked really, really sketchy. I mean, we were watching from Annie Dro's perspective, then we switched to Jazzykins, and they were overwhelmed by breach utility. But the one player in the site knows to not, tunnel vision on B main, help out the B heaven position, and she stabilizes the round for the team. And here we have a CLG attack timeout. What do you think they need to do here, Dan? Do you think they go back to tried and true at mid, or do they need to just regroup?
Well, I think there's definitely an opportunity if they have it tactically for a B main retake setup, because if they have been studying C9 White or understand that they have this favor towards B main control early, and obviously what they're doing is they're doing it for cheap. They're using a dark cover, which is a signature, so it's free, and then they're just spamming the dark cover to make sure that no one's crossing through. So that's really cheap control. And one of the things that's really actually very smart by C9 White, if you want to go deep with this, is that if COG Red want to take that, they're going to have to invest way more just to retake that position. So from a utility exchange, C9 White are set up super well there. But I would at least like to see what would happen if COG Red could make certain to win that position on buy rounds. But it looks like this round, there's a completely different focus from C9 White here, Sean, more so on mid.
Yeah, you can see the alarm bot is there for the B push. Viper is going to be holding the A push. And Breach is doing that fault line for actually A heaven that you were referring to. But if you look on the other side, Mel has an alarm bot up there, so C9 White has that covered. The Sky is capable of playing in vents. And this is going to be a mid collapse coming from C9 White. I am a bit scared for CLG Red.
C9 White are playing this so damn smart. Nice opening, though, coming through from Claudia, getting the entry frag there. Naomi following up onto Alexis, and Annie Dro now has to come up huge to try to get something done with this Phantom. Has some support from Katsumi as well, so doubling down on the B Heaven defense here, C9 White, but not looking good. Chobo winning the battle. Definitely a good feeling right now here for CLG Red as Annie Dro surely will get this kill. Chobo is so weak. Even gets the headshot. Looks like CLG Red will finish things off on the A site. And I don't know what opportunities we'll see here for C9 White to get back in against 4 players. But there is some position between screens and A Heaven. There goes Annie Dro. Finds an isolated fight. That's a good start here for C9 White. Looking for this retake. The flash comes through. Bonita with the transfer tries to find the finish onto Mel, but it will be Rise to do it. And COG pick up the round. And Sean, I thought that C9 had big brain COG, conditioned them away from B main and then doubled up on mid, but it didn't actually work out.
Tripled up on mid. They had the player in ropes and 2 top male right there. I think Claudia's dash into male to cut space past the Viper Poison Cloud. That was a game changer right there at mid. I mean, no pun intended. That was such a good dash by Claudia. I mean, for almost no reason. And now look at the ults built in this. This round is going to be wild, Dan.
Yes, absolutely. There goes the showstopper. We'll see Chobo making her way in, trying to find all of the damage, clearing out every single space, but there's nobody on the side. It's been totally given up here for C9 White, who have, as you said, so many ults to work off of. Most key, the showstopper and Mel's lockdown as well. Do they push
screens with the breach ult, Dan? I think they do. I think they push into this Killjoy ult.
There it is. There goes the breach ult straight into screens, trying to make it work here, but C9 White defending this push quite nicely. It's just Naomi who remains, and oh man, the lineups are good and everything, but there's 4 players left. That push failed. Naomi has so much to do. Oh, wow, okay. It's actually going to get one with that Nano Swarm, but it'll be a consolation frag. Oh, that's such a good idea.
It was a great idea. I don't know how Katsumi wasn't hit by the breach ult from Bonita. I think maybe post-buff on patch 3.0, that works a lot better. I couldn't believe it when Katsumi turned that corner and wasn't stunned. And then Jazzykins ulting immediately as a counter. That was an incredible reaction from Cloud9 White, because I thought CLG Red had a great read on the situation. Oh, what a deflating round to lose. Losing all your ults.
And on top of that, the round didn't get contentious enough to convince C9 White to use any more of their ults. So now they still have 3 ults to fall back onto, and there's one of them. Annie Dro dropping her Viper's Pit on the A site, and it's always very interesting to see how teams react to that. And that's a really oppressive Viper's toxic screen there in mid also.
And Mel has full B main control as well. You can see everything is relying on this mid hit from CLG Red.
And the flash comes through, but Jazzykins is ready, and the Seeker's coming out, but it doesn't seem to help too much. Alexis isolated as well, and it's an opportunity. It's looking quite grim, I have to say, for CLG Red, but now there's only one player on the B side. It's Mel, but Mel, of course, has a good angle, good position, playing off the turret, but the timing is not great for Mel. She had to pop the nano swarms, turned away. Chobo takes full advantage, and now it's Katsumi and Annie Drone. I feel like CLG Red keep coming up huge in the most unexpected rounds. Looking to work on a flawless here. In great post-plant positions. Katsumi knows where one player is. Annie will be coming in from spawn, but now it is just Annie in spawn. Through process of elimination, I'm sure that CLG Red have a good understanding. Annie Dro is lurking around here. A flawless round will be pretty huge for CLG Red, considering how far behind they've been. And Benita's looking for it. There goes the fault line, and Annie got one just before going down. But still, great round from CLG Red.
Whoa, Benita. I think you got her. I'm just kidding. I love it, guys. I love it. That's the best part of watching the games, actually, is watching how they react when they win the rounds. But these male takes from CLG Red have worked, I believe, all 3 times they've tried them on their buys. So I think they probably continue with the mid hits until Cloud9 White proves they can stop it, right? I am very impressed by these hits towards V Heaven, though.
Yeah, it's the saving grace. And Jazzy with the operator there will get fault lines. Waiting for the peak. I don't know that they're going to expect this angle. Jazzy should have an opportunity. There it is. Claudia goes down. That's a huge pick to get in a situation like this. Jazzy still staying alive in the corner here, though. Trying to keep that pressure on the damage. Could continue here as the paint shells go out. And there's the aftershock being sent through. A nice fadeaway from Jazzy. Stays alive despite the boombot going off in her face. And now it's the 3 versus 4. Still chances here for CLG Red, but difficult going into the mid round.
How is she alive, Dan? She can't keep getting away with this.
That does seem a bit unfair.
Oh, if you look, Chobo has lurked her way into ropes. It looks like Jazzy's aware of it, but she has to watch 2 different angles at once here.
Jazzy, another shot. The trade comes through at the least, but it's going to be very difficult with 30 seconds to go now. The spike is very close to being planted. Able to make the cross versus Annie safely, somewhat safely at least. But still, stuck on the side. 2 versus 3 for CLG Red here. Chobo knows she's got to get aggressive. Has to peel off some of these players before they are able to come closer. The paranoia is so dangerous. Chobo goes down, leaving it all to Naomi, playing the elbow position, and it's just not going to work out from a timing standpoint. It's C9 White convert, but I mean, some damage done, and the spike plant will be helpful.
Wow. They dumped so much utility in the ropes position for Jazzykin's operator, and none of it worked out very well. The paint shells barely missed. The breach flash missed. The molly was too short. It went to the box. The breach aftershock, she ran away from, gets another pick. It was just very, very unfortunate sights watching CLG's mid take right there. I think everyone was aware of the ropes position, but they all thought a piece of utility would solve that problem, and it never did.
Yeah. And we'll see, a very fast push coming through, but the defense is looking quite strong. C9 White really having a sense of it, or at least they were very ready for that. And it was definitely a change of pace from CLG Red, so props to C9 White for defending that so well. Ooh, looking like quite the cleanup here. C9 White don't seem to really have any weaknesses right now, and I mean, what do Naomi and Benita try to accomplish in this position?
Oh, just a nice little turret left there by Mel. Spots out Benita at a ramp. But C9 White isn't really doing much about that information, right? They still have this 5-on-2 advantage. They don't need to over-rotate, leave something open for Naomi to lurk. Oh, man, they just have everything prepared right now.
This operator is a really big problem, I have to say. What do you think that they should do in terms of an adjustment here, Sean?
Yeah, it's difficult because, like I said in the pregame, they have only one controller. They just have this Viper in play. So typically where you would have an Omen or even maybe a Brimstone, you know, to drop a smoke in the ropes position, you don't have that in this comp. And you can see they have all these solutions like using breach flashes and aftershocks and paint shells, but none of them are truly perfect, right? None of them fully flush out the operator from those positions, and we saw that already. So I dislike them ignoring mid because of it, but that's what they're going for here.
And there comes a fast maneuver through B main. Katsumi with some good damage, actually, I think the necessary amount before going down. Ooh, lockdown actually queued there. And he tried trying to slow down the plant attempt with that snake bite. And the Viper's pick comes through. It's a 3 versus 4, but there feels like a very good chance here for CLG Red to find a conversion in this round with the Viper's Pit. Claudia going close in the hell position. There's so much util. The showstopper is also ready for Jazzykins, and the boombot goes through as well.
It didn't see her. Claudia's here.
Oh no! The whisk come through from Claudia! And that is so unfortunate there for CLG Red. It leaves it to Ryze and Naomi against 3 players, although there's the Viper's Pit doing its work with the Stinger. But Naomi is going to have to hit 2 excellent shots. That said, Mel is pretty weak. Oh, she's getting healed up by the regrowth. She'll be able to take quite a few of those Sheriff shots now as the pressure comes through. Naomi's going to have to peek and go forward into the double swing by C9 White. Oh, Claudia's going to be kicking herself for certain on that one.
Oh, man. When the Trailblazer goes right past her, the Boombot goes right past her, my eyes lit up. I thought for sure she was getting the double kill right there from under the heaven position. But nope, the whiff comes in, and C9 White, the retake comes in yet again. 8-3, last round of the half. Do they have any ults to work with, Dan? What are they working with here? Showstopper. Surely they go back into the heaven position, right? They go back into that B heaven split with the showstopper leading the way. Maybe Claudia Blade Storm. Oof.
One of the difficulties is that there is a showstopper on Jazzykins as well, so that could be a fantastic counter to regain the space that they could possibly lose, or even just try to blow this one up if they can find a timing. But Jazzy's actually sat there. There goes that showstopper. Oh no! It's 3 players in. Well, what Jazzy's one of those 3, so we'll make it 2 against CLG Red. But the rest of CLG Red are getting decimated by the defense. It's just too disruptive. This ultimate advantage, and once again, Naomi's left in a rather difficult position alone. And man, just again, those ultimates really coming through, and it's very unfortunate, Sean, for them to not even get any value out of that take.
Yeah, that is just such a heads-up play from Jazzykins. Had the satchel on the ground, ready for the hit. The turret was inside ropes from Mel being first contact. Yikes. I mean, CLG Red, they went to their only thing that's worked for them all half, and Jazzykins just shut it down.
And there's that double peek. It's hard to beat that. C9 White, one of the best teams in the business here in terms of trying to make the right play in terms of positioning when you're like set up on angles like that. You know, you won't usually see any overextensions. Players will be like covering themselves, you know, in the right ways. The communication's really good on that. But yeah, the B main, or rather the B heaven play, as you said, Sean, that really seemed to be the saving grace that was keeping CLG Red in the running. But when that operator came out, that was a turning point.
I'd never asked you about this, Dan. How do you feel about the 9-3 half and the requirement of the pistol round in Valorant? Do you think this is a must-win pistol round right now for CLG Red?
I definitely do.
I do as well. I think 9-3. I think 9-3 is that limit, right? They've hit that limit where they need the pistol.
See if they can do it. Sides have switched, of course, meaning C9 White on the attack. CLG Red on the defense, and C9 White open things up with some mid-pressure here. They will actually bait out some util from the defenders. Getting rid of snake bites is definitely huge. Ooh, are we going to get a walk all the way through to a heaven here for the split?
Yeah, and there's no Killjoy utility to stop them over at this A site. It's just kind of like a three-person setup with a breach in the site. But it looks like Cloud9 is going to seesaw into B here.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to fake that A push. They have lurks towards A as well, so they don't actually have to commit towards B.
Dan. Oh,
yeah, this is so smart. Oh my god, that was just genius. Oh my goodness. C9Y are just on another level right now. CLG, though, they can still make this work. Benito at the back of the site with the classic in hand, trying to find shots, and those are some shots to find from Benito. My god, Benito crushing the push onto the A site. I don't know how the classic can ever look like that. Benito, I'm getting that skin. What's the sense? What's the res?
Everything. I need everything. I need all of the settings because
download the whole package.
She might have gotten all headshots with that clip. She was destroying people across the map with a classic. Oh my.
Yeah, just all headshots basically.
No bursting required. That was insane.
And that took the spotlight away from C9's amazing pistol. The way that they like use the audio cues and set up the double fake. Oh, that was so sick.
Wow, and that was Benito, one of the top performers of the entire event. Quiet in the first half, coming up huge to open the second half, Dan. I love that. Oh my gosh, we might get a game here.
Yes. COG definitely need to be making sure that they stay safe on this anti-eco. This is definitely territory where, you know, the best teams can sometimes falter. You almost expect to win them, but you got to be really cautious. C9 West definitely a very good team in terms of getting the most out of rounds like this, but the Viper will definitely really helpful. Love the aftershock there. Can't actually push off of that flash because of the aftershock. And COG, they're controlling the flow of players pretty effectively. I am respecting the Bulldog coming to play. I know Shahzam would be proud. He is a staunch defender of the Bulldog's effectiveness.
I might have to join in after the latest buff, but the one we're watching right now, I'm not a fan, Dan. I'm not a fan of this one. Oh, so first gun round here from Cloud9 White. They will have a massive weapon advantage on this round. So how does CLG Red approach this bonus round? Are they going to push an extremity similar to Cloud9 White, or will they play passive in the sites? The breach fault line at B tells me Claudia is going in B main.
Yes, I love the fault line there on the opening. Get that early control. And you can see C9's response is to take that mid control. The spike is down towards mid sewers, so just trying to work that map control at the moment. And I love this. This is such a good way to start off on this map because they can really seesaw the defenders with all of this map control.
Man, that's crazy. They had such good solutions to deal with that Viper one way at the bottom of Mail. They timed the boombot on the peak perfectly, and now they immediately have a Trailblazer going up to clear B Heaven, and that cleared all the way down the stairs. They've walked up.
Oh, and speaking of walking up, Annie Dro with the kill onto Chobo, and there it is. They have players placed everywhere. They're able to switch it up into the best option, which is now this A attack. But Naomi can... We see a performance like Benita, just not against the fans. It's Annie Dro! Oh my goodness. Got I think the trigger's getting stuck there, Sean.
I think she must have been playing a lot of alted KOs in ranked or something. Yeah, you have to kill the downed body. You have to thirst for it.
But this was perhaps an expected round to lose. You know, it's a bonus round, of course. But I think CLG Red perhaps would have wanted to get more value out of this. I think, you know, Annie got such a good timing on a ramp. And as you said, the mid push was really, really effective from C9. So first gun versus gun round. And this really feels like it could be very important, Sean. I mean, I feel like if CLG Red are not able to pick this one up, they're just going to be against... They're not going to have a spot where they're going to feel comfortable.
I couldn't agree more. And given the fact that we see Benita with that ult in ropes, I've seen it so many times where this breach ult clears mid. Is Cloud9 going to fall for this, though? They seem so well prepared for stuff like this. I'm curious if their spacing is poor.
Oh, Claudia, that's a huge pickup. And there goes the Rolling Thunder for the retake of mid. Claudia's following it through, going all the way, but there is a limit, and Claudia has reached it and will fall back. Pain shells to slow things down even further. I think that will chip a little bit onto Katsumi. And, I mean, the Rolling Thunder was invested. It's a minute to go. It's a 5 versus 4 in favor of CLG Red, so they're in a pretty good position here, Sean.
Yeah, they are. And I thought Jazzykins actually predicted the setup. And the frag that Claudia had to get on this 5-on-4 was huge. Is Chobo going to win this one, though, against Anidro? This is everything, Dan.
I like the setup a lot, the off angle with the bot as well. But it looks like Anidro's been able to easily defuse that situation and has gained some ground here. Anidro's lurk with Viper has been very annoying, but in the meantime, the push comes through to the B site. The paranoia will affect Rise, and he's going to be heard on the flank. Chobo able to turn around and deal with that effectively. So now C9 White are in trouble. 20 seconds to plant this spike, and there is a lot of pressure coming in from CLG Red. And with that frag, Alexis is the last player standing. So nice headshot, but the trade comes through. And CLG Red only losing one player on their first full gun round on this defense. Definitely looks good for their prospects here on Split.
Very good awareness by Chobo right there to not fall into the lurk play from Anidro. That was massive in how this round played out. And also, I have to draw attention to how Rise was playing around that pillar at B, living and making, I believe, who was it? It was Katsumi peeking back sight into her. That peek is very difficult because you have to be aware that someone could be in rafters or down low at that moment. So very good use of her movement to get that one-on-one.
Yeah, most certainly. And it's going to be a switch here for C9 White. Of course, they are on pistols. They're using the numbers. Certainly a smart choice. And we've got a retake set up on A mostly here from CLG Red. So they definitely feel this possibility. They've got full mid control of CLG Red. So at this point, CLG know exactly what's happening.
Oh, there's alarm bots right here. The hit's going to be so fast, Dan.
Chobo's in a really forward position. Oh, this is great. The coverage from the toxic
dear.
screen. That's beautiful.
Oh, my. It's happening.
If they went to take it down effectively, that's going to be fantastic. But it's that's actually an enemy wall, in fact. And it doesn't even matter because CLG are just defending nicely. Kasumi with the Spectre looking to see what she can get done here. Kasumi is a dangerous player, but it's going to be tough. There's one. Back against the wall now. 3 players coming. And that's going to be enough for Katsumi in this round. 7-10. CLG Red pick up the eco rounds, and they're not looking too far behind now.
No, and the way they're winning these rounds, quite nice. They have very good setups. They're using the Killjoy utility really well in a heaven right now. Cool. I'm curious how Cloud9 White approaches this round. We haven't seen them use many ults so far on their attack half, so they'll likely have to bust out this one from Alexis. We might see a fake with Katsumi on this Omen ult. Those are some cool things to look out for here.
Yeah, and we have Mel on the lurk at the moment, and everybody else towards a ramp for early control, but the mid push indeed. And there goes the Seekers as well. Oh, the timing there. That's a free one for Mel. That's also the breach. Benita goes down. That's a huge kill to get on the defenders. And, oh, man. This is looking very bad for CLG Red. The Viper's Pit will get pulled out just to make sure. And I don't know if CLG Red even want to go for this one at this point, Sean.
Oh, that was the frag they needed right there. Anidro getting rebuffed again. Back to 100. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this has to just be like an exit frag hunt.
Looks like they want to make this as painful as possible. Actually, just trying to lurk around, seeing if they can get something crazy done here. Rise will take down Anidro. Now the last player standing, and that's the trade through from Alexis. So C9 White pick up their their second gun round, I think. And it's going to be interesting to see whether or not CLG Red can fight back off of that one. I think it was very unfortunate that they lost Benita, but that said, with the Viper's Pit activated anyway, the breach utility is definitely going to be not as useful as that line of sight is blocked by the Viper's Pit.
Oh,
the showstopper on Chobo here.
Rise is going into mid with this Viper ult. I want to see her just instantly pop in. And then I want to see the showstopper coming on Jazzykins. I want to see it coming. There it is. Okay. Jazzykins just needs to find one orb for this ult to play out.
C9 don't often try to directly challenge the Viper's Pit unless they have ample utility to do so. The Trailblazer will clear it initially, but it's so much distance. Viper can easily come back into that Viper's pit, and you can see that C9 White have been shepherded into that B main position instead. And B is abandoned. It's a retake situation. Oh, that's a good pick to find. Annie Dro's lurk is gone now, and they know Annie is usually on the lurk, so that's a huge piece of info. The lockdown comes through, but again, there's nobody on the site really here. Oh, Jazzy did find the ult orb as well, so the showstopper is good there for the post plant. Oh, and there it goes. Oh, she's going for it. Everybody's running away, trying to avoid it. It's sent down to spawn, and it will catch absolutely nothing. Oh, here comes the reverse. Chobo picks up that showstopper, takes down Alexis, and Benita goes down here as C9 fight for the spawn control. That's a beautiful decision to go for. Katsumi with the wraparound, the pillar, and she can't quite make it work. The trades come through from CLG. That was madness, but CLG do manage to stay alive.
That was absolute insanity. What was going? That was so crazy because I thought CLG Red would ignore spawn, and that's eventually what happened. Rise actually ended up mauling spawn, and those players were trapped there. They couldn't come back into the site to stop the defuse. Great retake from CLG Red. Good use of the showstopper right there to open things up by Chobo. Wow, that was crazy.
So we'll see if CLG Red can keep it going. Mid-take comes through once more.
Love that. I love how the guiding light gets no info and immediately Rise mollies mid because she knows, C9 is likely working up with that little piece of info. So then again, you see a Trailblazer. She immediately takes that out. So she's just trying to deny any information coming out of Cloud9 White. Get as much utility out of them before the hit happens.
The aftershock there is good as well. Also doing the same, sort of just denying any forward play to be made off of the boombot. Loving that counter utility as you're highlighting. And oh, okay. Annie Dro is very confident.
This lurk on A ramp, she throws the poison cloud over the wall, lurks along the backside of it, gets to heaven. Oh, finds Benita through the corner of the heaven box. That opens up the lurk for Mel. Both sites are being lost simultaneously.
It's a difficult situation. Oh, Mel goes down, but at the cost of Claudia's life. And they don't have the player numbers to be doing that. That's unfortunate for CLG Red. But C9 White looking like they're coming into their own at this round. 2 versus 3 after that pick against Annie. Maybe there's a chance of a Chobo. Not expecting Jazzy to be so close. And Naomi now knows the position of Jazzy, but it's about winning the battle. And Jazzy all day as C9 White get themselves to 12. One more round to win the first map of this best of 5 series. This is, to remind you, if you're just joining us, a best of 5 grand finals here for VCT Game Changers 2.
Oh, Dan, do you have faith that CLG can bring this back? They got the Blade Storm on deck. Naomi has the lockdown. I think if they win this round, they can do it. But this is going to be such a difficult battle to win this one right here.
Yeah, you'd normally want to say, okay, if the Blade Storm can get an early pick, and there's a double up draft. Annie Dro's dodging it, just crouching behind, knows what's up here. The take comes through where they expect Annie Dro. They're actually pre-firing it, but Annie Dro will at least take down one. However, Claudia still alive. Naomi with that lockdown still alive. This forces a reaction from C9. They know that a heavy investment towards A means a weak B site. And Mel is creeping around the pillar as well. Looking to see if she can find some space. The 1v1s though, being won by CLG Red. They have a great scenario here for themselves. The 3 versus 2 at this point. Jazzy's low. Here comes the lurk from Rice around the pillar. And that Blaze Storm to finish it off. Well, Sean, I think that answers your question.
Wow. Those CLG players in the B site. Worth their weight in gold. I don't know how they stopped that hit. They danced around and avoided all the fights, used the Killjoy utility on the ground perfectly. Rise swings and gets that frag D main. Kind of alleviates a lot of that push, right? It allowed her to pivot around the pillar, find one more. Very, very well done by Rise and Naomi to hold the B site. Oh my god. It's doable now. It's doable.
Yeah. They're winning some pretty key rounds. And also the crazy thing too here is that if CLG Red are able to convert this round as well, then not only, I mean, they're actually moving into territory where they're going to have ultimate advantages, but also C9 will be on a save. So if they win this round, you know, they'll get to 10, and then they'll be in against an eco, they'll be in 11. And then we'll have an all-out gun round slugfest between both teams where, unless something crazy happens, COG Red will probably still have an ultimate advantage. So COG Red are moving forward here with a definitive advantage. The question is whether or not they're able to actually convert that advantage.
Yeah, I think based on how C9 is moving before the tac timeout's called, it looks like they want to gravitate a little bit towards this A site, but this will likely just be a default where they take control of mid. Alexis has her ult. Last time she popped that, they just dominated the round. So that is something to be on the lookout for. Do they follow the ult with a guiding light? Creates tons of space. That's what happened last time.
Now working control here towards A ramp. Oh dear, the turret will actually... I think he got a little bit of damage there. Yeah, that's annoying for Chobo. That said, Mel's Lurk is no longer really in play too much. Claudia, that's a great pick. The Rolling Thunder coming through as well. Benita pushing it all the way through B main. And this is causing a response here from C9 to go fast into this A hit right now, this A split. But they can't go fast because the util is there. It's ready.
This is a big one. Claudia has had 2 massive openings this round. That leaves her in a 3-on-5, and they have to go right into Chobo and Ryze's setup now. 0 map control. Look at Benita. She's way in their spawn.
Such good timing here from Naomi as well. Good reaction onto Jazzy. And it looks like that's about to be it here in this round for C9 White. And we talked about this scenario. Ooh, that wasn't even an ADS. That's just a clean burst. What is this, 1.6?
I really feel like my Bulldog is different. It's not constructed with the right tools or something.
Yeah, got a shoddy knockoff.
Yeah.
Well, it's eco time, Sean. It's eco time for C9 White. COG Red with a solid chance at that 12-12 overtime scenario to run it back.
It's happening. .gif. I feel it. Hello. This could happen. Jazzykins with the showstopper on deck. That is the only thing Cloud9 White has going for them this round. I mean, this is no longer the Stinger meta. Those guns are going to have a hard time opening up this round, but she's going to be entering the A site. I like Ryze's lurk position behind flower pots, though. Okay, I don't like this. I don't like this, Dan.
Uh-oh. Ooh. That sentry turret might kind of cue Ryze to think, okay, this is Mel lurking because he's done it so many times before, but there goes that showstopper from Jazzy up into Way Heaven, looking to see what she can find. Nothing so far. It's just completely barren up here on the A Heaven position, and gets sent through the screens. Will whiff Chobo, wrapping around. Oh, there's that stinger, though. Better than the Phantom, of course. And now Jazzy's got control of Elbow. The spike's being planted. We might have to see a big dump here of COG Red's ultimates. I'm sure they didn't want to do it, but here it is. We'll see that lockdown coming through. In fact, it's coming from Mel. And there's the response. The defender, Killjoy ult.
Break it.
Oh no.
That's a great fault line, though. Wait.
Alexis lurking up through A Heaven here as well. She could find a really insane timing as the push comes through screens. Oh, the time is really a big problem here. There goes the breach flashes to try to get a push through. Benita wins that 1v1. Jazzy is going to get backstabbed there by the remainder of CLG. There is just enough time to make this one happen. But, man, Sean, they did not want to burn those ults. They definitely did not want to burn Naomi's lockdown there.
Yeah, I forgot how to breathe when the first Stinger frag came in, Dan. I know you were so happy about it. I was feeling the pain of losing a game against an eco rush, right? Oh man, I can't believe it. Even after Benita gets hit with the lockdown, she comes up huge, getting that Heaven frag. Naomi holds it down in spawn. I loved all the little things though we saw that round. Jazzykins popping the ult, going into Heaven, saving the paint shells for the counter lockdown. Like that is, they're like 8 steps ahead. That's insane.
Ooh. Sean, this is the first time Claudia's bringing out the operator, I think, in a very pivotal round. There's the Viper's Pit too on the defense. Both teams pretty even on the ults, but in fact, on the B main position so far, they're actually playing reactively with Claudia's operator.
Yeah, you've said it before. Cloud9 White doesn't like going into this Viper Pit, and mid is such a pivotal area of split, obviously. So Annie Dro's lurk is probably the entire match right now. Going back
Now
into
might
the
walk
lurk.
into it. Oh, this would be a really big kill to get. Mel's waiting for sound cues to maybe feel like an open B site. She's looking for it to be clear to walk through.
I think she's waiting for presence from any draw at A heaven.
A 1-for-1 there from Cho, but that's not the worst. But there it is. Claudia was so patient. Picks up the lurk from Mel through B main. They just know C9Y too well. Oh, but the satchel play from Jazzy. What an entry. That's going to keep C9Y in this round. There's the Viper's Pit. And that is a huge advantage now to defend this site. This will be very difficult for CLG Red to get back in.
How on earth do they manage to get past this Viper's Pit, Dan?
Oh, double snake bite available. Boom bot available as well on the post plant. Here comes the clear from CLG Red using that aftershock, trying to get their way through. Jazzy, though, it's looking so good right now for C9Y to close out the first map. It's just Benita left, and she's going to go down to Katsumi. C9Y pick up the first map of this best of 5 series very narrowly. That was so close.
Man, that was so close. We mentioned the lurk from Mel. Claudia actually takes her out. They get in the 4-on-3 scenario. But once Annie pops that ult on the site, oh my god, we saw it actually earlier in the game. C9Y just used their ults so perfectly throughout this entire game. And that's nothing against CLG Red. They played a great game themselves. What a map.
It's crazy too because, you know, we talked about maybe going into that last or the round to get overtime, maybe with CLG Red having a slight advantage on the ultimates, having the lockdown available, but it had